and welcome to Plant the Seed,
our podcast that will provide you with real-life lessons
and teachings that will plant a seed and change your mentality.
and become a better version of yourself.
with your hosts, Lala Uziane.
And Noor Balde.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Plant the Seed. I'm your host, Lala Uziane.
And I'm your host, Noor Balde.
And today we have the amazing Chelsea.
Chelsea. Hi, Chelsea.
Hello, beautiful ladies. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. I appreciate
you. Oh my goodness, we're so happy to have you because I don't even know where to start with you because how did I meet you? I was looking for a Clubhouse invitation, I think, and I don't know how I found you, and that's how I got in touch with you. But then following you and looking into your story and where you are now with like your life, it's very inspiring. And it's just like, wow, like not only you did that for yourself, but you're able to help others. So we just want to show our listeners how you can turn your life up just like this with the right mindset and the right tools.
Well, I have a lot to share, so I'm excited to be here. I think what you guys are doing is amazing. I'm happy to share.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So, you know, I was watching a couple of videos that you have on your YouTube channel where you tell your story. And, you know, if you can just share with us a tiny bit about you, who's Chelsea, and how did it all start?
Ooh, so, so my name is Chelsea. I am a 7-figure online business owner. It still feels very weird and surreal to say that because I definitely never saw myself working in the space that I've actually been so successful in. I never imagined that. I was a celebrity makeup artist, and I was living in Atlanta, and I absolutely loved what I did as far as makeup goes. My goal was to just, oh my gosh, I saw myself on tour with Rihanna and J-Lo, like just doing amazing things, right? And then, you know, you're in that field for 8-9 years and you realize like, okay, this is just not all that it's cracked up to be. Yes, I've worked with some amazing people, but as you get older, like you're not really trying to be jet setting and running after other people. You know, you kind of want to be doing that for yourself. You want to start a family. You start having your own like visions of yourself being on the red carpet and on billboards. And like when you're lights, camera, action all the time and you're seeing that it's a very real thing. And these people are just like you, you know, they're beautiful just like you. They're smart just like you. They have like pretty average and normal lives outside of the cameras. And once you start to really realize that, you're like, whoa, there's really not much difference between you and I. Why are you able to live here and drive this? And I'm like, so that whole like concept started to like fester with me. And you know, at first I was like, okay, I shouldn't be thinking like this. Like, this is their life. They're the celebrity. Like, they are different. You know, you're just like a working girl. You went to college. You're not famous. Like, you don't have a rich husband or boyfriend. You're not an athlete's wife. Like, you just have this type of life. And those girls have that type of life. So for years, I was kind of just like, it is what it is. And then it just kept on. I'm just like, you know, I kept getting different opportunities, like castings for, because I was in that world of entertainment, you know, so I'm around producers all the time, camera crews all the time. And so I always found myself like this close to landing an opportunity that felt like, oh my God, like, oh my God, I'm finally going to get some real money because I'm about to be famous. And like, we're right there, you know? And then for one reason or another, it just never panned out. Right. Sorry, y'all, I'm looking crazy as hell.
No.
Anyways, so that's kind of how that started to like always be in the back of my mind. And then the more that started to really marinate, I'm like, when you're starting to like level up and take on different calibers of clients, sometimes you can go from feeling really, really appreciated and needed in your business, making people look beautiful, feel beautiful, to kind of overlooked and underappreciated. And like, you know, that whole vibe, like the help kind of vibe. And you're just like, hold on, like this went from you really needing me and loving me and like adoring me as your makeup artist, your glam squad, to kind of making me feel like I'm working for you. Like I'm everything I've done previous to get to this point now has me feeling like a real job, you know? And so once that really started to kind of like sit in my heart, I'm like, this is just not what I thought it would be. I thought I was going to live and die as a makeup artist forever, but I started to desire more different things and more lavish things. Like I started to really embrace the fact that like it's okay if I want that the same car as my client. It's okay if I want to live in that high rise like my client. Like she doesn't do things much different than me to deserve these things and I just don't. You know, we both work hard, we're both women, we both are, you know, good human beings. Why am I like struggling? You know, why am I not living like an amazing life the way I feel like she is? So I, at the same time, as me starting to kind of feel all this, my fiance now, he was my best friend back then. Never in a million years did I think we would be this right now. We were just friends. He was actually coming home from prison. And the whole time he was in prison, we were writing each other. Like we were really, really good friends. And so that whole time we're writing each other, and I had already relocated to LA. And so at this point I'm doing makeup in LA, and he writes me and he's like, hey, I'm about to get out and I'm going to relocate. I'm going to be in LA. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I moved here from Atlanta. Like you got locked up in Atlanta. How are you going to be in LA? I'm going to be in LA. Like, okay, besties. Like it was like great again, you know? And so from the minute he came home, we were inseparable, just like we always were back in Atlanta. And we decided we would just be in a relationship together and like try to start a life together. So at that point in time, I had never dated anybody with the type of baggage or label or whatever that he was coming home with. So I kind of underestimated what it would be like to have a life with someone who, you know, had just come home from federal prison and is now on probation and all this stuff. So of course I started off super, super excited and just like in love, cloud nine, like, oh my God, this is the best. But I didn't really think about like the life part and like the finances and the, you know, that whole thing. And so once he tried to start trying to get work, and we realized that like the opportunities that were available were really just like crappy opportunities for anybody who was like the age that we were, where we wanted to start a family and stuff, like overnight warehouse type or trucking cross country type, you know, and everything in between that was like $12 an hour, $15 an hour, overnight, crazy graveyard. And I'm like, what? Like I went from being like up under my boyfriends all the time to like I'm a normal girl, you know, like what do you mean $15 an hour and you're never going to be home and like that's not the type of life like I thought we was going to be like on jets and trips. And mind you, when he was my best friend, I've always known him for having money. Like his name is Showtime. Like he's a big deal, you know? And so I knew him to be that fun guy, spending money, lavish lifestyle, like fun, not realizing that you're coming home from prison and you don't have any of these things anymore. Like we're starting from the nitty gritty, and I'm on a makeup artist salary and I'm like 1 foot in, 1 foot out at this point, like over it. And now I have a boyfriend and we're looking at one paycheck, like, oh God, like, what are we going to do? Like, what, we're not living anywhere near the life that we envisioned living. And so it was really a matter of like, wow, do we just accept this as like our new future, our new life? And like, we're about to be basic as hell. Or are we going to have to like really figure out how to boss up and like create the life that I know exists because my clients live that life? So if it wasn't for that exposure of like that Beverly Hills lifestyle, I started makeup in Atlanta. The lifestyle I knew there, all my clients were strippers, they were dancers, they were entertainers, escorts, that type of vibe. And they got me paid, you know, like they put money in my pocket, but that's what my exposure was. So you know, the frame of mind was totally different from going from that type to Beverly Hills, red carpet, glam, award shows, BET, VH1, billboards, like totally different levels of exposure. And so I had already knew like, nah, I'm not aspiring to live that hood rich lifestyle of Atlanta. Like, no offense, I love Atlanta, but you know, like that hood rich, like entertainment, any like lifestyle. I want more of like I want the real thing, you know, like I really want the real thing. And I knew that my boyfriend could give me that real thing in illegal senses, because that's what he knew. That's what I witnessed personally, like him being up here but in the wrong way, you know? And so I had to be careful with what I was asking for, because I could have easily had that being with who I was with. I could have easily been like, let's turn up, like, let's do that, you know? And I didn't want to do that. My goal, I had to keep my mind and my heart on the goal, which was, if I'm going to be with this man, I want, and I'm where I say I am in my life, where I want to start a family, I want to start having kids and get married and all these things. Like, I don't want to do it with a guilty conscience. I don't want to do it having to look over my shoulder and be paranoid. I don't want to do it with hurting my reputation and doing things that I don't feel good as a woman about doing. Like, I had to really be serious and make choices and decide, like, is it time for me to cross over? Because I've done all those things. I don't care. Like, I've done them all. I've done from the dirt to the corporate America. I've had like every job under the sun. Like, I've experimented in my womanhood to try to figure out a way. And, you know, the only ones that had ever gotten me to a financial point that I felt even semi-decent about were the illegal ones. And that's where it's like fucked up, because it's like, damn, the only way for someone who's not like a doctor, and I say doctor, but I make more money than doctors now. So it's like, I don't even aspire to be that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what, unless I was going to be set up to do illegal things or become a celebrity of some sort, you mean to tell me like that's the only way I'm supposed to like get to the point where I'm at right now? Like, it was either me be an entrepreneur and create the life that I wanted for myself that made sense to my standard, or I was going to have to be lucky and like be a celebrity, or like do illegal stuff. There's no profession that makes more than what I make. Like, there's nothing you can go to, you know, work for, or like you can't. So, or in that period of time, you know what I'm saying? So it basically came down to us realizing like, no, we are worthy. Like, if I'm saying I want to live like this, like and I'm not those things, I don't want to be those things anymore. I don't want to, whatever, like how can, I had to fill in the blank. And so we just started researching. A part of me didn't even know if this existed, you know, because I didn't know anybody that was like highly successful personally that wasn't in the streets or a celebrity because of my makeup, whatever. Like, I only knew the people who made it or the people who were in the streets. I didn't know anybody who was like legitly making money where I was like looking at them like, damn, I want to be like you when I grow up. Like, my family, I have entrepreneurs in my family, but they're like the entrepreneurs that are still trading time for their money. So they're working their asses off. And it never looked good. So I never looked at them like they were where I wanted to be. So I didn't have that example. I didn't even really know it existed outside of like TV and like Grant Cardone's and like visually seeing that they do exist. But in my world, like, I didn't really know if that was like a scam or not, or if it was like real or not, you know? So I was literally just going for it, just with that hope and feeling of like, I need this to be a real thing so that I can chase this. And I believed in it. I really knew that that's what I wanted. When I see these like Instagram millennials, like traveling and just on islands and just doing the most amazing things, and then they aren't in school, they aren't you know, working a 9 to 5, they're doing all these amazing things. Like, I just knew I needed that to be real. I knew I needed that to be real so I could find out how to live like that. And the more research I did, the more I kept finding out that I'm not gonna say what the hell is in my hair, y'all. Goddamn bobby pins hiding in this. Sorry, y'all. Anyways, so I'm like, hold on. So yeah, the more research I did, the more I realized that there were opportunities where people claim that they can help you live a certain type of lifestyle that looked very much like the one I was envisioning. And I'm like, okay, there's this one, there's that one. I kept hearing about e-commerce. I kept hearing about Shopify, about drop shipping. The more I looked into it, the more I was like, okay, I can do that. Like, these kids, it just clicked like something. When I read it, I was like, and then I started watching videos and like hearing, you know, I heard the pros and the cons. the overall assessment, it just felt good to me. It didn't really feel like something where I would be risking much. And that's kind of been my vibe my whole life. Like I'm down to pretty much do whatever, but I got to weigh out the risk. If, just because it's a little risky doesn't mean I'm not going to do it, but just, I have to weigh it out. And this one is a perfect example of that. I weighed out my options and I was like, this seems like a great opportunity. And if I fail, I'm really not going to lose much at all. But if I win at it, I'm going to actually, looks like I can win pretty big. And so we went all in with it. I was so excited. I'm a Scorpio. When I get excited about something new, it's like I go crazy. So it was like game on right away. And I failed a lot.
Was it like baby steps? Did you have to do a lot of research about it, or?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. So I definitely do my due diligence when it comes to anything. Like I like to research. So I was pretty much on YouTube for a couple weeks, probably like 2 weeks straight, just like studying, like from sun up to sundown, like no breaks. I was obsessed. Like I was so intrigued by it is what it was. And I used to do this with makeup too. I was a self-taught makeup artist. So I learned and I got my way in makeup as high as I did and working with the caliber of people I did, all from watching YouTube videos. And granted, it's either in you or it's not. Like if you're a terrible at artistry and stuff and you watching YouTube probably isn't going to make it any better, but for me, it's like, it was something I always knew I would be good at, but I obsessed over YouTube tutorials enough to where it really like brought out that makeup artist in me. And so that's obviously, I think that's a lot of people's step one is free content, YouTube, So that's what I did. I went to YouTube. I was researching drop shipping. I was seeing so many people discuss it, talk about it. And I'm like, I think I can do this. I think I can do this. And this is where people go wrong, thinking that YouTube is the step one introduction, due diligence, get your feet wet. It's not like run off and start a business based off of YouTube. You're a lot of money online. And so I decided, like, once I did every strategy that YouTube taught me how to do, and nothing really worked. Like I knew I was just missing like one thing. I was like, damn, whatever it is, I'm so close, but there's just one thing that is like missing. And that's what's holding me back from like making sales. And so instead of giving up, I was just like, what can I do to fill that gap? Like, how do I fill the gap if I only know what I know and I don't know what I don't know because I don't know? Like, how do I bridge that gap? And so my boyfriend was like, we need a mentor. We need somebody who's done this. And I was like, a what? Like, what is a freaking mentor? Like, that just sounds so weird. Like, I don't know anybody like that. Like, a mentor, like, what is that? And so he's like, yeah, in prison, like everybody, all these rich people that I networked with, and we're talking about how they got locked up and made millions and millions and millions. Like they all had mentors that showed them how to do stocks, and like mentors, like they teach you stuff. And I'm like, okay, so we can get one. And he's like, I mean, yeah, we got to find one. And I'm like, find a mentor? Like, it just seems so like, okay, this is new, I'm going to actually like find somebody to teach me something and then apply it. And like, it should work after that. And he's like, yes, that's how people figure things out. Like, without going to school or getting a job, like you hire people to help you because they've already done it. And I'm like, okay, yeah. So that's when I pretty much got big into manifesting. The more I was like researching, I kept hearing about positive thinking, manifesting, and telling the universe what you want and trying to attract your dreams and your desires and making them come to life. I was like, as a working girl and stuff like that, I never heard about manifesting. Like everybody's just so complacent. If they did manifest, they probably wouldn't still be working their 9 to 5 if they were miserable in it. So nobody talks about manifesting in corporate America. Nobody talks about manifesting in like normal life. So it was very new concept to me. I'm like, wait, is this like voodoo or like, is this weird? And then once I realized like it wasn't like that, I'm like, okay, so I can still think like this and believe in God at the same time, right? Because I do believe in God. And it's like, yes, girl, like you're just being okay and comfortable about telling the universe and God what you want. And so once that concept settled in, I'm like, okay, y'all, God, you guys, I need a mentor. Like, I need somebody to help me get rich fast because your girl's tired of being broke. Like, I need to live this lifestyle. I need to be on yachts and jets. Like, that's just me. And I need that to like come out, you know? And so I was manifesting it so hard. Like every day I was just like picturing my life, like really envisioning what it would be like to have kids and just be on private jets and be bi-coastal and live back and forth and be able to vacation on an island with my laptop and like just do all these like super freaking amazing things. And next thing I know, I got a message on Instagram, I believe it was, weeks later. You know, I'm trying to, in this time I'm like recouping from my losses and my experimentations. I'm like still studying and making my website better, improving what I could, you know. And I get a message and he was like, you know, I can help you, you know, if you're interested in, I do Shopify, long story short, he was 19 years old. He was making on average $240,000 a month. And I looked through his Instagram. He was on islands with his laptop, with his iPhone. He was living in Bali for 3 months, in Thailand. And I was like, I was like, that's my life. Like, that's the life that I want. I was like, that's the life that I was like, remember everything I said I wanted? This fucking 19-year-old boy is living the life that I just said with the jets and the da. And so immediately I was just like, huh?
You just sent you a message randomly?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly how it happened. If I probably saw a YouTube video, because he was a YouTuber as well, but not a big YouTuber. So maybe I'm not really sure. This was a few years ago. I probably, knowing me, I was probably like emailing people, you know, in their YouTube description, like if you want to work with me, but I'm not even realizing that you know. So maybe I was just emailing like, please help me, and he's like, perfect, I can help you. I do this, I teach people, you know. So maybe it was that, or maybe he just DM'd me. I really don't remember. Because at this point I'm in like a lot of groups on Facebook for drop shipping. I'm like really searching. So maybe he targeted me. Who, you know what I mean? Maybe he knew, whatever. I don't remember. But when he told me his offer, he told me who he was or whatever, I just knew that the lifestyle that he had was exactly what I was looking for. And so I was extremely excited to work with him and to pick his brain. And what he wanted was a huge investment. I'm not going to lie. He wanted $4,000. And I was like, yeah, well, I don't have that. I've never had that. And I don't know how I would even get it. You know what I'm saying? Like all at one time, like I was like, that's just a lot of freaking money, you know? And so I was just like, okay, I guess that's just not going to happen then, you know? And, so I went back to the drawing board, trying to figure it out, you know, kept losing money, a couple hundred here, 250, 300, whatever. And next thing you know, I'm like doing the math and I'm like, great, I just lost like $1,700, you know what I mean? And that's like almost half of what he wanted. And maybe if I would have just did a payment plan, you know what I'm saying? I started to like really think about this and I'm like, Chelsea, what are your choices here? Either you're going to completely stop and call it quits and like give up on drop shipping, or you're going to have to try like one last chance and do it with him as your coach, which is going to be a huge financial investment because not only is it $4,000 for his pocket to teach me, but I was still going to have to execute whatever he told me I needed to do, which might require, he told me anywhere from $500 to $1,000 in marketing. I'm like, 4, 5, 6, 7 for rent. I'm like, food. I'm like, how the hell can I ever afford to pay him plus my bills in the same month? If you know what I'm saying, like how there's just no way. I'm working on one salary right now as a makeup artist and 2 adults in LA. I'm like, this is crazy. So the only way to learn from this millionaire is to pretty much risk everything I have, including rent money for that month, like, I was like, oh my gosh. So I had to like really weigh it out. And I was like at such a crossroads because now here I was 6 months in. Okay. This is now 6 months passing. Mind you, I mean, I wasn't making that much money. So it's like, I needed like weeks would go by before I could continue like experimenting with my store on my own, let alone save up to hire this mentor. So I'm just not giving up for 6 months. I'm just like all in every day, going to my website, just improving new things, changing the fonts, adding new things to my store, just doing things that in hindsight, like literally did nothing and they didn't matter at all. But it kept me going and it kept me intrigued and involved in my business. And it kept me feeling like I was on this journey and on this road to doing what I was supposed to be doing the right way. It gave me and Brandon a purpose. Like, you know, we would be hanging out with friends, but we knew we had to get home because like our website needed to be updated. Like, we have to fix our banner branding, you know, like we have to like stuff that like just felt good because we were becoming business owners. So 6 months in, it got to that point and I'm just like, it is 6 months. Like I need money. Like I'm sick of makeup at this point. Like I was really over it. I was like, I need to figure something out really like now, you know? And I remember we had just enough money to hire him. He had called again. He had left me alone for a long time. He called to kind of touch base. Hey, how's your journey going? Are you successful with it yet? Have you been making sales? And I'm like, no, I really need your help. Like, I really need to hire you. I haven't gotten nowhere. He's like, it's been 6 months. Like, do you realize like how much progress like we could have made in 6 months? He's like, you know, he told me his numbers for the previous month. And I was just like sick. I was so sick. I was like, oh my God, like you're making that every month. And I just sat on this store and just sat for 6 whole months losing money and doing things that didn't even matter, that didn't even get me further. I killed time. I wasted time. And I could have hired you and possibly made like a fraction of that and changed my whole life. And so I was really like sick at that thought and that feeling. And I was like, Brandon was like, let's just do it. Like, let's just do it. Forget it. Like, let's just do it. So we tapped into our savings. He tapped into his savings and we worked out like a payment plan type of situation. Super scary, guys. Like it was the scariest feeling I'd ever made in my life, decision I ever made in my life. And I'm very, very grateful that we did it though, because our first month with him, we made $21,000 and I could not believe it. Like when all that time, 6 whole months, not a dollar. And then all of a sudden, you know, we're connecting the dots and we're filling in the gaps and $21,000 is coming into my bank account. So I obviously like mentally, it was like, like what? Like it felt like, oh my God, fuel up the jet. We out, like we made it. And I could not believe it, you know? And then I'm like, wait a minute. Like, is this too good to be true? Like, maybe that was a fluke. Like, maybe I just had a good month because you did something. I don't know. Month 2 was $41,000. And it just kept going. So next thing you know, it's 4 months later, we already made $112,000. So it was like, and we were so into our business at this point, just learning. We were obsessed. Like we could not get enough of just freaking learning. Not to mention my mentor turned out to be a total asshole. He at the time, he was just like I wasn't hip to this whole world of business and online, anything. I was a makeup artist. So I'm not understanding the power of shout outs and the power of just anything, social media at this point. I was a makeup artist still in my mind, you know? And so, I'm not knowing that his whole thing is to grow this YouTube following guru status type vibe. So when I met him, he was a small guy, like he wasn't popular. He had like I remember when I went to his page, like when he DM'd me, I'm like, okay, you don't have like any followers. Like, is this real? But his images, I could tell, you know, it was real. So I was just like, he started asking me for shout outs. He knew I knew a lot of celebrities. My page was full of makeup and stuff like that. So long story short, I helped him really blow up. Like today, he's a huge YouTuber, huge, and probably one of the biggest drop shipping YouTubers out there. And he ended up pretty much, after giving him thousands and thousands of dollars to coach me, he just started getting further and further and further away. And like, and then started hitting me with like, I'm too busy now. Like I have too many students. And I'm like,
Okay.
I didn't even realize I was a student. Like before me, he wasn't, I know for a fact, like he didn't even have clients or anything, um, it wasn't even like that. It just seemed like this guy who was good at this thing was offering to help me. Yeah, for a price, but anytime we talked, it was never Actually, whenever we talked, he wasn't even at a computer. I paid that $4,000 a month was for 4 phone calls. And those phone calls, he would be in his car. He would be at the airport going through, hey, hold on. I'm about to go through the x-ray right now. Hold on. I'm like, crying. I would get off the phone, like literally, like, you don't understand, depressed, crying, sick, because I knew we had just given him $4,000. And I got off the phone pretty much piecing together bits and pieces of a conversation and hoping that I understood him properly. Like it was not any type of structure, course, program, reading material, visual material. It was nothing like that. And so yeah, it was somehow enough to guide me so that I could make money. And I'm very grateful for that. But it also told me, like, if I ever were to help anybody with anything, it would never be in this fashion. Like, I would never want anybody to feel like they invested in me and I left them hanging or feeling the way that he did me, especially once he got really big and then started just completely making me feel like I was just another number and whatever. So that's that. But it did change my life, and the exposure to information changed my life. And so we went on to make $500,000 with our business after his help and those teachings and education and whatnot. And my life has never been the same since. Like it truly hasn't. And it got to the point where like people were seeing the growth. They had seen the progress. They saw us move and relocate and buy cars and like start to live the life that like Brandon was used to living before. And people started calling us like, hey, is Brandon okay? Like, is he back, doing, and I'm like, no, like, what do you mean? Like, we've been like not even hanging out with friends or eating out. Like well, what y'all been doing then? Like, what do y'all, what's everybody up to? Y'all quiet over there. What y'all got going on? And it's like, cause we're starting a business. Like we're making money. We're working, like doing what? Like we're making money online, doing what? Everybody was just so like, y'all better not be over there, like doing nothing, And we're like, no, we're doing drop shipping. What's that? Well, it's selling products online, but we don't have to buy them up front. And like people all over the world are buying our stuff. That sounds illegal. Like, what are you talking about? You're selling things that you don't even have. Like, I don't think you're allowed to do that. Do you have a license to sell it? Like, do you have an LLC? Like, we started just getting all kinds of chaos and questions and people doubting and just being confused and people just making us feel like they didn't relate to what we were doing. And so it just, that's how it kind of started, with people like questioning like what we had going on. And then, that just turned into like curiosity and people picking our brains like, wait, so how can we do that? Like, y'all didn't go to school for this. Y'all didn't like, how'd y'all learn this? Well, we hired this guy and he taught us and now we're doing it. And you want us to show you, like, okay, come over, like, come, it kind of started that way. And so I worked one-on-one with people for a minute, like not even realizing that that's what I was doing, but I'm like helping them start their stores. My homegirls would come over. We'd just be on the couch, like, okay, girl, now go to Shopify, set up this, then go here. And then no, you edit your pictures like this and then do your description like this. Like, I'm going to send this to you right now. Copy it like this. Like it would just, we would be at home watching Netflix and just like everybody at their computers. And I'm telling them like how to look for this and that, how to pick that. It was just fun. It was just something to do, And the next thing I know, like my friends are calling me, hey girl, my store, like I'm doing orders tonight. Like I'm this and that. And I'm like, yeah, like, isn't this cool? Like Wi-Fi money? Like, yeah, this is what we do, It was just cool. And then I started to realize how many of my friends in LA had businesses that were brick and mortar businesses. I had one on Rodeo Drive paying 10,000 minimum. I think it was more than 10,000 a month on rent for her store. And I had a lot of friends with different boutiques all over LA. And at the time, I'm telling you, I'm so green to this. I'm so like new to this that I'm not even realizing that like what I got going on is obviously completely different, but like it's the same thing. We both had boutiques. I had mine online and she had hers on Rodeo Drive, right? And I remember it really clicked to me when a friend of mine relocated from Mississippi to LA, and she had a store that was absolutely beautiful, and she didn't have any friends in LA or anything. She just relocated there strictly for business because her online business in Mississippi was blowing up. I mean, her brick and mortar location in Mississippi blew up. And so she's like, I need to scale this. Next level is LA. So I'm going to go and take my company to LA. Opened up and was damn near on the verge of bankruptcy. Okay. And I was in her store with her. I'm like, girl, don't be depressed. Don't be sad. Come on. I'm going to open up shop with you. Like, let's go. I'll kick it with you all day. I'll try to like help you when traffic comes in. I'll try to like be excited and like help you make sales, you know? And so I'm there again. I'm not even realizing that what we do is the same thing, because to me, it was not. Like, I'm used to just making money on Shopify from my phone. She called me with this problem. I say, okay, well, what do you do? Okay. What do you do again? Or where's your business? Oh, I'm here in a boutique. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll help you. I'll come kick it. So for weeks, I would just go spend time with her at her store. We would like write up notes and like, okay, decorate like this. Like, I'm doing things I've never done before, because online, I've never done any of that stuff, right? So for her store, it's almost like I was just in her world, learning her business and getting a feel for her business. And I'm noticing we're not getting no traffic at all. I'm like, this is a gorgeous freaking store, perfect location, but like, people not coming in here. You know, you had a grand opening, it's like crickets, and your rent is expensive as hell, and you're stressing out because you got bills due. I'm seeing you open up boxes and boxes of inventory of all these beautiful things, but I'm like, girl, it's getting cold outside and you got like dresses and like, how long have you been sitting on this? Well, I just moved here and like, you know, we had to get settled in our apartment and this and that. And so a few weeks have gone by, and I'm like, oh, in my head, I'm just like calculating all this cost. And I'm like, shit, like, how am I going to help my friend, you know? Yeah. And then I remember one day after weeks of going over there, she's just like, you know, she knew what I did, right? She saw what I was posting and this and that. I didn't even realize. I'm like, y'all, I just be in my own world, right? So I'm not realizing that like she's even looking at me as if we do like the same thing, you know? So I'm there just trying to help her. And then one day she's like, I don't get it, Chelsea, like, where's your store? And I'm like, no, I'm just online. I'm like, I'm online. I don't have a store like this. Like, I'm different. I don't have a real store. I have like an online store. And she's like, oh, okay, like, cool. So she's like, she came over a few times, right? And so she's like looking at me and I'm like, what's up? And she's just like, but I've been to your house. Like, she's like, so you don't have a store, you have an online store. And I'm like, yes. She's like, so you're not like a real location. I'm like, correct. It's all online. And she's like, okay, but like, do you have an office or like another place for your job? And I'm like, nah, I just work from like my room or like my bed or like, you know, I have a tiny apartment, or, you know, by this time we had leveled up, but still it was just like, no, girl, you know, the house, the crib. And she's like, where do you keep the stuff? And I was like, what stuff? And she's like, the inventory. Like, you're saying you have a business, but I went to your house and I didn't see nothing at all about your business. And I'm like, oh, that's when it clicked for me. I was like, oh my gosh, like, my damn friend, like, I realized like we do the same thing, except I found a way to do it differently. Like, I'm a drop shipper. I don't touch nothing. Like, I don't have inventory. I don't sell things that I see first. Like, I'm a drop shipper. I'm not touching any of it. And when I told her that, she was like, what? Like, it didn't even make sense at all. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I realized the gap there, right? And I'm like, I started really looking around at her stuff, and I'm like, like, I could really help you. I was like, all of this stuff is like the same stuff. Granted, I wasn't into a fashion niche at all. Like, I don't sell clothes drop shipping wise, But still, I was looking at her products and I'm like, all of these things come from overseas. Like everything in this store, probably the damn walls itself come from China. Everything comes from China. So I was just like, well, all of this stuff could have been drop shipped. I was like, do you have an online store? And she's like, yeah, I have an online store. Like and in Mississippi, she had an online store. I take the back. I'd never been to her store in Mississippi, but she had an online store that blew up. So she felt confident about starting a real store in LA. So she was bringing her online to LA. She said her online one was averaging about 4,000 or 5,000 a month. So she felt like she should start brick and mortar. So she's like, oh, I have an online store too. And she's like, I just sell everything here on the online store. And I'm like, yeah, but the difference is I'm drop shipping. I'm not holding inventory. I don't touch anything. How you're here dressing mannequins, I would never be doing that. Like I don't touch anything I see, but everything in here, you could be drop shipping on your online store. You would have never had to buy any of these things. So right there, mind blown. And immediately she's like damn near in tears because she's just like, I've gone so far in this direction, so far. She starts pointing out the logo, like the beautiful logo outside, like the sign. She's like, that alone, like she starts like those lights right there, girl, that chandelier, girl, those bar stools and that fucking POS system. She's like, just and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. Like I wish, and I felt so bad. I'm like, I should have talked about this weeks ago, but still I met her after she got her location and everything. But I was like, I'll help you. Like if you want to transition, like I can help you go the drop shipping route, So I just started helping her do that. And so long story short, like she ended up doing a totally different thing. Like she opened up a dispensary with that spot. She closed the clothing store and kept it online only and converted that into like a whole different business. But aside from that, it's just like that moment really lit a light bulb in my mind. And I was like, people are just not aware that you can do e-commerce or like have a store without ever touching the material. And there's so much risk involved when you're doing it the way my friend did it. Like you can literally lose everything. And that's where she was about to be, like literally bankruptcy. And if people knew more about this opportunity, they would not really jump straight to that one because that one's very risky compared to this one. So like I said, minimal risk and very playing it safe, but still massive, massive return potential. So that's what kind of exploded the idea of me helping others in a real way. Like the one-on-ones were cool, but then I'm like, damn, more people need to know about this. How can I do this to where like I just spent so much time with each of you guys and y'all coming to my house and us doing all this. I tallied up all that time and I'm like, that's a lot of time. And yeah, I'm still working on my business too, but like, I want to be able to help y'all. Now y'all are calling me with questions and I'm like, how do I balance this? So that's when I launched Pennies to Gold and I realized that other women needed to hear about this option, this opportunity. And that's when I launched my program. And I've helped hundreds of women now through my course, a lot of which have gone on to make six figures, a lot of which who have quit their 9-to-5s. And it's just been amazing. And so I didn't make $1 million as a drop shipper. We didn't stop. We still have like ongoing stores, but I started teaching at the $500,000 mark. And then Pennies to Gold actually made $1 million this past November. So that program has done very, very well. And it's been great just being able to connect with women and helping them like just develop their amazing ideas with their online businesses and knowing that they're doing it for like the least risky way. That's like a good feeling. It feels like a little cheat code. And so I try to put as many people onto opportunities like that because they're working smarter, not harder. It's just safer this way. So yeah, that's what I do. That's how it all happened.
Wow, your story is so incredible. Like
It
literally,
is.
you faced so many obstacles that you could have just like settled
Left
down
alone.
and just been a makeup artist, but you seen the bigger vision. And
Yeah,
you
for
stuck with
sure.
that, and that's the important bit of having a vision,
Yeah,
a
for
bigger
sure.
goal.
So with the drop shipping, can anyone open that sort of business? Because obviously you have no inventory. Is it all online? Like how does it work? And can anyone do it with anything?
Anybody. Yeah, anybody could do it. I recommend being of age to have a credit card, because you do need to be able to like fund your business in like running marketing campaigns and things like that. You are going to need some money, anywhere from $500 to $1,000 to invest in marketing, because you need to get eyeballs on your products. Just like my friend, even though she was in a good location, she still needed to invest in flyers and business cards and things like that so that people can know her doors were open. So any business in the world will always need marketing, but because we're online, we need marketing for our online campaigns, our online marketing channels. So yeah, you need to at least be of age to have like a credit card, bank account, and that's it. Yeah, anybody can do it. Literally anybody can do it.
With any product?
Huh?
Would you teach them like what products they should get?
Yeah. So the first step is finding a manufacturer who will offer you wholesale pricing for your products. So you can source your products from anywhere from Alibaba, AliExpress, DHgate, Wish, freaking Sales Who. There's like a bunch of different places that have wholesale manufacturers and products that they're offering. The difference is that you want to make sure that they're going to be like, not every vendor or supplier is willing to be a drop ship for you. So the places that I just mentioned, they will drop ship for you. And so at that point, you're using research strategies like studying Google Trends. You're studying the trends in the marketplace to see what products have a better chance of selling for you. So you wouldn't really go out and try to reinvent the wheel and just start selling some like random products. The goal is to, like I said, truly, I live by working smarter, not harder. So I'm a bandwagon. I'm gonna jump on a bandwagon any time of day. Okay. If you're headed in a direction I want to go in and it's looking promising, just count me in. I'm there. So when I see a trend that looks promising and it looks like it's creating traction and it's like on the up and up, I'm not going to second guess it. I'm going to jump right on it. And that's what drop shipping is all about, being able to identify those trends, those upward movements in the market, and being able to just take action. And so, there's evergreen products. I mean, evergreen niches that you can sell in, which are niches that are always going to be like profitable, always going to be popular, always going to be like good to hop in. And then there's more seasonal niches that are just good for maybe like holidays or, Super Bowl. Like there's things that are just more temporary. And then there's things that are just more trendy where you could just hop on that trend and in 3 months it's going to fade out, like fidget spinners. But that doesn't mean that you can't jump on a trend and make millions of dollars before it burns out, So you kind of just got to identify the market, what's going on around you and in the environment, and just be able to point out and identify good opportunities. But you're going to learn all that. If you were to take like my course, for example, we go through extensively how to spot those potential winning products. And then once you do, it's game on. You add that to your store, and then you optimize your website around those products, and you build a store around them. And then you start marketing using Facebook and Instagram ads or influencers. And then that's how you drive traffic to your website, into your products. Then when you make a sale for your product or on your store. So for me, as an example, my first winning product made me $250,000. That product was a necklace. My manufacturer charged 86 cents for that necklace. And on my website, I had it for $16. So whenever I had it on my website, I would run ads to it for 16 and show people it was $16. Whenever they purchased it on my website, I get $16 in my account, and then 86 cents of it, you have to buy the necklace from the manufacturer for 86 cents. So you send him the money, like you order it on the website, you put their address instead of your address, but you pay for it with your credit card. And now your manufacturer is going to ship it to your customer's door.
Oh,
Wow,
amazing.
that's amazing.
That's sick.
Yeah. And you keep the difference. So that's that.
So that is a good model. Like, for example, now with like COVID, people want to start businesses. It is like a good investment because of how, I'm not saying it's easy, but how convenient It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. It's a super simple business model, super simple business model. And a lot of companies, big companies utilize this business model. Walmart,
Like
Best
Amazon.
Amazon,
Yeah.
exactly. Forever 21, Fashion Nova all started off as drop shippers. And then eventually you build your brand once you have a proven concept and proven products that are selling and people are showing you that, like, yes, I do love this. I will buy this. I will pay this. Then you have proof of concept. And now you can start branding your business and investing into that inventory because you know it's going to sell. Now you go and open up your brick and mortar. Now you go, you know what I mean? Now you go and invest in that big order of inventory so you can ship out your products. Now you make it your real brand. But before that, it could be very tricky. It can be very, very tricky. And so, you know, people act prematurely and go and get in debt, buy the, you know, get the storefront, this and that with things that they think they can sell. And then what if you put that hair store in front of it in a neighborhood, and then after 6 months of being open and you're not selling any wigs, you do some research and you find out that you're in a motherfucking all men neighborhood. There's no women here to buy your wigs. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want that to happen to you. You don't want to find out the hard way. You'd rather just have proof of concept and then make the riskier moves, because at that point they're not really risky if you have that proof. So
Especially now with COVID, like all the shops closed, and it shows the power of having an online store, how it does better than having a shop.
Yeah.
and that's why I think my business did so well in 2020, and we made $1 million with my program, because it started to really click to a lot of people who had brick and mortar locations and couldn't go to work, that like, holy crap, like now more than ever, I need to convert my business to an online business. I need to take whatever I'm doing and also be doing it online. And then those who hadn't started their businesses yet realized, like, oh my gosh, like my job isn't as stable as I thought it was, because they just let me go. Or, you know, they're not an essential business, so I can't even go to work. How am I going to feed my family? I got a stimulus check of $1,200. Like, what is that? You know? And so people started really realizing, like, y'all, if I'm not making, you know, we don't have to talk about how much money my goals are daily. Sometimes it sounds like, I don't like to say it, but you know, like, it's like during Corona, I'm just like, damn, people are hoping and praying for a $1,200 stimulus check. Like, and how long is that supposed to last them? Like, that's insane to me, you know? And when people started seeing like the results that my students were getting, they're just like, hold on, like how, I'm like, y'all need to flip that stimulus money. Like, come on, let's do a payment plan. Like, let's make that money make more sense, because I don't know what that's going to buy you guys, but you're going to be hurting in a couple of days. Like, so we need to learn some skill sets that can really help you maximize your time and your money, you know? And yes, it's not an overnight thing. It's a real business. Like, I wish I could sit with all of my students one-on-one and help, like side by side on the couch, like, okay, just do this. It doesn't work that way. I have a course. I have to bring these people who have a 9-to-5 mindset all the way into entrepreneurship. So it is a journey. It's a 7-week course that I offer. So until that 7 weeks is over, you're not going to have a business or a way of making money in that business until you're actually executing by like the 7-week mark. So it's not for anybody if you're like, oh my God, I need money right now. No, you need a job. Like, this is not that. This is a business. This is like a real business that you do when you can like afford to do it. Not everybody can have a business at any point in time, you know? But a lot of people who realize like the importance of like that online income stream, they were like, how can I get in with you? Like, how can I learn? Because it is minimal risk and you don't have to make that huge upfront investment. Most businesses do require some sort of big upfront investment. Like if you're a restaurant or a food truck, you got to buy the truck. Like if you, anything, you have to pay a deposit for, even if you want to start a Turo or Airbnb or whatever, like you have to have some sort of like pretty good chunk of change to be able to afford it up front. This it didn't. And I'm like, why are more people not talking about this? This is like the perfect step one to being a business owner. And this one business that I started with dropshipping turned into 4 different income streams for me that all made 6 figures and one made 7. So that one skill set that I learned with my very first dropshipping store, and I'm proof because what did I do before that was makeup. So it's like, it's not like I'm hiding any secret skills here. Like anything that I am today all came about in the years that happened after investing in my mentor and learning Facebook and Instagram ads and applying it to selling different stuff. I went on to launch a journal, more courses, ebooks, coaching programs, my fiance's sports betting program. We've done so many things and they all do numbers. And it's all because I've mastered the marketing that I use to sell my necklace. It was the same exact strategies that I teach in my program, except instead of putting the necklace there, you put the ebook or the course or my books or whatever, you know? So
that is amazing because, you know, I'm hoping that people that are listening today, if they have that idea and they want to take it to the next level, you know, I know it's very, very important to invest in a coach. Like I'm a coach myself, and I want you to tell people, why is it important to invest in someone to tell you exactly what to do?
Because some people just want to go, like, they think they
The
know
YouTube-
everything.
the
They'll YouTube it.
yeah.
And
I mean, those the people that are willing, they're just stubborn. They're so stubborn. They're going to end up spending so much more money doing it that way. And that's fine. Some people are more like, you know, they think that they're playing it safer by doing that. I honestly was one of those people at first because I graduated early from college. Like my whole life, I've always been like the best at anything I did. Makeup, I got that so easy from YouTube tutorials. I'm like, boom, that helped me become like a bomb ass makeup artist. It brought out like the best abilities of makeup within me, you know, and it took me very far. So I was one of those people like, please just show me a little bit. I'll be better at you than you in a week, you know? But after certain things are not for every, like certain things come with like years of experience and education, and you know, not everything is kind of just like show me one time and I can do it. Sometimes you need that ongoing coaching and support, and marketing is definitely one of those things. It's something that like on a case by case, it's different for everybody. You need help understanding on a daily basis what things mean and how to read things and understand things. YouTube, you only can find out what you're able to search, type in. If you don't know something, if you've never been exposed to something, if you don't know how the back end of something, how do you know what to search for? You don't even know that those phrases exist or those questions exist or that information exists. And that's what my trouble was. You know, what helped me, like once my mentor would, I would have a phone call with him and he would be like, okay, well, you know, what you want to do is manual bidding and da 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 da, and then you click on a conversion, and like he started saying certain like keywords, and I'm like writing down really really fast. So then I would go on YouTube and be like, okay, what optimization is best for starting off with Facebook ads, because he left me so confused. But then I would type in like that phrase and I would be like, whoa, like a whole new series of YouTube gurus that I never even saw about with my other searches about what is drop shipping, how to become a drop shipper, what's the best way to drop ship. You think you got it all figured out with all your terms over here. Then you type in some insider shit and it's like a whole new back end virtual world opens up and you're like, oh, hell no. Like I was nowhere even near. Like now I got to learn all this. So it's like you only know what you know when you know it. And it's like if you're trying to learn that way, you're going to be at it for years. Like when I talk to my friends like in Forex and in like network marketing and stuff, and they talk about, yeah, you know, and it only took me 5 years to make $1.5 million. And now I'm at the top of my company and da da da. And people are like, oh my God, only 4 years. I'm like, that is a long ass time, y'all. It took me less than 2 years to make $1 million. And really overall sooner than that, because I made $500,000 in drop shipping in 2 years. And then my course in the first year made 300 and some thousand. It's like really a lot of money has come through me. And it's like, y'all are taking years to do things, to master things. And in this world right here, it starts off super rocky. It's like a big learning curve. It is. But once you get it, it's like it's a skill set that can literally you turn on your ads and money just, it comes in. It just takes time to get your ads to that point where they're producing consistently profits. But once they are, it's literally you press a button, turn them on, and it's like, okay, how much money do I want to make today? Cool. That's how much I have to put in. And then $1 should be equaling $3 by the end of the day. Once you get that going consistently, then you put in $5 and you know it's going to equal 15 at the end of the day. Then you start putting in 50 and you know that it's going to equal 3 times that by the end. Now you're putting in 5,000 and you know it's going to equal. It's just a numbers game at that point.
So you've mastered marketing now. So like how to use Facebook, Instagram to make money for your websites.
Yeah. And that alone is the reason why when I lost my Instagram and stuff and it was heartbreaking, people were like, oh my God, what's going to happen to your business? And I'm like, my business is fine. I just miss my pictures. Like, because my ads are on, like, as much as I hate it, because like I miss that connection, my business is still operating because I'm running marketing campaigns. I was never I'm missing out on an organic stream of income because I used to be able to just go on Instagram and be like, hey guys, and I get a whole bunch of sales. Now I don't really have it like that, but I still have my marketing running for me, my ads always running in the background when I'm sleeping. Like I woke up today and had a $500 sale. I didn't even do anything. It came in at 5 a.m. when I was sleeping. So by the end of the day, there'll be many more, but it's like, it's a great feeling to wake up to that and not even have to get dressed, or I could look like this all day and still make the same amount of money as I did when I had to work for 16 hours doing makeup,
Yeah. And how long did it take you to learn all of this? And are you still like learning and stuff?
I'm always still learning for sure. In marketing, there's always updates. There's always changes in the market. Always we hear about them on algorithms change. Like it's definitely something you have to be committed to. If you're going to be in the marketing space, you're always going to be evolving. You're always going to have to be a student. You're always going to have to either have a mentor or other colleagues and friends in the game who can kind of just keep you updated and challenging with new things. But it took me, I still don't consider myself like, oh, I'm just this guru, this expert. Absolutely not. Like I'm learning every single day. I've found ways to make a lot of money online. And that's the information that I share with people. But this is still not my first language. Like I have a team that this is their first language, and that's fine, but I run into obstacles every single day. And I'm like, what the fuck does this mean? Like, hey, and that's the best part about being in, just changing your environment and having those networks and that circle over the years of people who you can lean on and count on, who are in the same space as you, because you don't have to have all the answers. That's part of the beauty of investing in a coach as well, because the average people don't have anybody doing the things that they aspire to be doing. So they have nobody to call at all. When you invest in a coach, you get access to your coach plus their network. Like my students, I give my students access. Oh my God. They know who I wrote my book with. They know who I hire for my ads. They know who I hire to build my website. They know where I go. Like they get all my resources, and there's nothing that they can't ask me that I'm not going to put them onto, because it's like, you invested in me, I want to pour back into you. That's why when my fiance launched his sports betting program, the first place I went, I was like, hold on, like, I know this is your business, but before you launch it to your audience, can I launch this to my students first? Like, I'll feel so special if I could just give it to moms and make them feel like they're getting it first. And he's like, sure. So we launched it to them first for a discounted price, and several of them, like I told you that story, made tons of money. So I always go to my students first, because I just feel like, but yeah, like we learn and we grow together. There's always stuff to be learning, but the best part about it is I'm the one that's connected to the streets of e-commerce and dropshipping. I'm the one with the network. I'm the one with the experience. I'm the one with the failures and the wins. And I'm the one that's investing $10,000-$20,000 to go to masterminds every year, conferences. We just moved to Vegas so that we could be closer to where all these events and conferences are all the time, just so we can be tapped in, because my students can't afford a $50,000 mentorship. They can't afford a $20,000 course or coaching program with billion-dollar drop shippers. Like they can't do that. So I do those things, and then I go and I give them back the information that worked for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. So is it mainly women that you coach?
Yeah.
Yes.
I prefer it that way. I do have like 5 guys total over 2 years, but I love helping women
It's
mainly.
amazing, you know. What do you feel like what's the main limitation when you start coaching the women that you find across every single woman that they
That
have?
is not allowing them to move forward.
Yeah, to grow. What's the main limitation?
The main limitation is I would say the limiting belief. Like, I think that once the fun part is building your store and feeling like you got your logo done, your website's ready, like, ooh, you did something, and now you feel like you're a business owner. But when it comes to investing in marketing, it's scary because one, you've just invested to join my program. That's an investment. And now before you've made or had a chance to make your money back, you have to put money into your business now to push it forward. Just like buying a Lamborghini costs a shit ton of money, but guess what? It may not come with a full tank of gas. I mean, I hope it does, but let's just say it's not going to go anywhere without the extra gas, right? One thing has nothing to do with the other. So sometimes when you get to that point where you're like, okay, week 1, we need $50 to put into ads, it starts to get scary and people are like, oh my God, like there's so many variables. Like, what if I mess up? I'm going to lose $50. And it's a mindset shift again, because it's like, you're not losing it. You're investing to figure out your business now. Like, now is when you really become a business owner. The store is cute, the logo's cute, but it's like, if you're trying to make money and have this be an income stream, we're going to have to put some money into the business and see what it does. So that's the limiting belief of that part, and that was my issue too, just pressing go and doing the math and okay, I just paid my mentor and now I have to invest how much into ads? You need 100 for ads this week. Okay. And then I got rent in 2 weeks and then I got to go get groceries tomorrow. It's like, it starts to get scary, So I get it, but it's not going to go anywhere if you don't take that step. You have to take that step. Literally nobody in the world, you can have the most beautiful store, just like my friend on Rodeo Drive, beautiful store. But if they don't know about you, nobody's coming in, period.
And that's the power of marketing, isn't it? So what course are you offering right now and how can people join it? What are the requirements and what is it about?
So the only requirement is you got to be hungry. You got to really be with it, because I give a lot in my program, but it's not going to do anything if you don't actually like do the work and execute it. It's not like a magical course like that. It does have the ability to change your life 100%. It's going to open your mind to freaking endless opportunities and possibilities. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I have people, I'm not going to say they drop out of my program, but they'll get to like week 4 and I touch base with them like, hey, so how's it going? They're like, please don't be mad at me. Like, I decided to branch off and do something that I heard you talk about in module 3. You just gave me the best idea and it just really spoke to me. And now I'm da-da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, cool girl. Like, all right, well, keep this in your back pocket. And when you're done with that, come back and still open up your drop shipping store and have another stream of income. And then like, you can pull so much value from my program and go in so many different directions. In order to be a successful drop shipper, you have to like, not master, but you have to learn how to do quite a few really, really, really valuable skill sets, from simple web design to customer service with your customers, to the marketing with your ads, to the maybe photo editing with your video. There's a lot of little things, making your logo. I teach you how to do everything. I also teach you how to get it done for you, but I like to teach my students, because they all come from different price points and budgets. I like to teach you how to do like the spoiled version where you can pay to get it all done. Or if you don't have the budget, I want you to learn how to do it from scratch, because that was me. And so by the time you go through the course, you're going to have some pretty valuable skills that you can offer and sell if you want. And I think a lot of my students see me as a coach and stuff now. So they're like, okay, I realized that Chelsea made $1 million using the same strategy she's teaching as a drop shipper, even though it's not drop shipping related. She's still selling something, and she was always selling something when she was drop shipping. So, maybe if I like her module about web development and I am creative and I'm a good web designer and I enjoy that, maybe I should run ads to that service and start offering web design services. And I'm like, yes. So that's the type of vibes we go for in my program. Like, Yes, I want drop shipping to be the focus because that's what I'm trying to teach you, but the options are endless and you can apply what you're learning to any business and become a very, very well paid entrepreneur. So I have a program. We were talking about pennies to gold, and it is an investment, absolutely. So it's not for everyone because many people still aren't see, may not see the importance of that. So it's for people who do see the value in having someone like me guide them and coach them and really work with them so that they can get the results that they need in their lives and in their business. So it is on sale right now. I opened it up top of the year. I really do want to help people fresh in the beginning of the year so that they can be ready for the biggest time of year, which is Black Friday. So this is literally like the best time to jump in because with everything going on, I mean, we've already talked about just the importance of being online and it's just a very real thing. Who knows how long Corona is going to be here. And even when it wasn't, it was the thing to get into. So Corona just made it even better for us. But it's just perfect timing. It really is. And so yeah, it's on sale right now. I figured I'd open up the year with a $19.97 offer. So my course is a little bit less than $2,000. It never expires. The best part in my opinion is that it comes with me, access to me. The course itself is amazing, but like with any new business, if you're even considering taking a program without that ongoing support, I would be a little bit cautious, especially if it's at like the $2,000 price point. If it's like less, then fine. But if you're going to pay for a premium product like this and it didn't come with ongoing support, I would be like, wait, because you're going to need that. You're going to need the extra, you're going to have questions. And if you don't have somebody to bounce those questions off of and ideas off of, it's going to kind of be like, not the best experience. So, yeah, you're going to have endless access to me. I'll always be able to put you in position and offer you ideas and help you with your business. But the program is amazing. It's very interactive. I'm there for my students 100%. And then you get access to hundreds of other women as well, who are all doing the exact same thing that you're trying to do. And so now you have access to this support system that you've never had before. It's like having 400 other sisters that are all twins.
Yeah.
And drive me crazy on that. No, I love them. They're like, we're all like just alike. It's so crazy. Like I got them all sports betting. Like we're all in there like, wait, what's going on? But it's all about money. Like we're never not talking about either, like it's always about job shipping. That's technically a rule, but we talk about money, just any money making opportunities. And it's just a great place. And a lot of people don't have that. And a lot of people want that. And I'm happy to be able to offer that, so I don't take on many people at once. So I know I talked to you guys before this and I told you I would open up some spots for your audience. So I have opened up 10. If you want, you can let them know that. And, we can tell them to like say that they came from you guys so that I know. And I can even give you guys a link that you can share if you would like. And if they want to enroll at that rate, then we can totally accept them for a discounted price. And I think it'll really be awesome. It'll help a lot of them in many, many ways. And yeah, I'm happy to share the info I've got.
That's amazing. So if anyone wants to join, we're gonna leave all the information down below. And it's time to get your money right and do what you need to do. So we'll leave everything down below for them to, if they need to click, how to do it.
Yes, absolutely. For anybody who's on Clubhouse, I know it's a new thing, but because I'm not really on social media like that for real, I have connected like an old Instagram page. If anybody wants to connect with me on there, it's Shop Legally Rich is the Instagram page. So if anybody has any questions or needs to like DM me or anything, you can connect with me on that page. Other than that, I'm in Clubhouse almost every day, dropping a lot of value, just different topics. I like to keep like drop shipping topics to my course and my students, but I'm on there speaking about other income opportunities almost every day. Like I just love money. Like I love talking about money. I love talking about manifesting. I love talking about women and helping women. So follow me on Clubhouse. It's Honey Gold is my handle on Clubhouse. And yeah, I just love being a resource to women. So please, if anybody ever has any questions, I don't hesitate. I'm happy to help any way that I can help.
That is so amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time.
Amazing.
Your story is just
inspirational.
And you've just said half of it literally. So make sure you follow her on her YouTube channel because she talks about it more.
Yeah.
I am excited about this YouTube channel, you guys. Yeah, I didn't even say, like, make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube. Oh my gosh, I'm really putting it out there because I cannot not do this. At this point, I lost my social media, so I have to create a new presence on YouTube. So I'm like about it because it's like a whole nother job I have to take on, but I am excited about it. And I'm going to use that platform as a way to really connect with people even more. And I am excited about that because over the years, people have been begging to see the behind the scenes, like, what do you do on a day-to-day? I'm like, oh, y'all not even ready. Like, I don't know what y'all think I do, but I'm pretty sure it's not what I actually do. So I can't wait to be able to like show all of it, and it's going to be great. I'm really, 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 really excited. So if you do want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, that is coming soon. Chelsea Goriello. It's just my first and last name. You can search that and my channel will come up. And yeah, get ready for some pretty good, informative, probably funny content soon.
We'll be there watching your videos like, oh, girl.
Well, it was really great connecting with you ladies, and I feel very honored to be able to be on your platform. I hope you share this with me so I can put this on my YouTube channel as well if you want. But yeah, I would love it, and it's been great. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you. It's been amazing, and just the opportunity that you just offered our listeners,
it's crazy.
It could be life changing. So one investment away to change your life and your mindset.
Definitely, for sure. Yeah, I can't wait. Hopefully I can serve them and help them leave their jobs this year, become bosses this year, and most importantly, make some Wi-Fi money this year. So yes, that's the goal. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, and we will definitely have you back very, very soon.
Yes, for sure.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. See you later.
Thank you so much for listening. We would love if you would share your thoughts by using the hashtag #PlantTheSeed and PTS on all social medias.
Send us any of your dilemmas at planttheseedpodcast@gmail.com.
And we will try our best to support you.
Check it out on our YouTube.
And be sure to follow us on all our social medias, Planting the Seed with 1T.
And be sure to subscribe
to get notified every time we upload.
Thank you again. We love you.